with UFC 311 just around the corner, obviously there's some really stacked matchups up the top of the card, which we are all greatly looking forward to. But today, I wanted to discuss someone who, is going a little bit under the radar, I think. The real ones know his potential and have been watching his rise. And of course, that is Payton Talbott in the bantamweight division. Super interesting, up and coming, like I said, rising prospect who, beyond the authenticity in his fighting skills, just the way he approaches the game and life in general is really, really fascinating, and I think has a massive impact on his creativity and skills inside the octagon. This is his first real step up in competition against Tony Barcelos, veteran who has fought, really, really top guys in this division, and in his prime was, a bit of a dark horse contender himself. Never reached the top of the division necessarily, but yeah, he had a lot of hype on him as well a few years ago in the UFC. Taken some tough losses since then, and with his age being 37 in, the bantamweight division, these lower weight classes, they just weed out the old guys so much faster than a heavyweight or a light heavyweight, for instance. Perfect example of the up-and-coming killer versus the old dog who, they're trying to test the killer to see where they're at in their career. And the UFC does this a lot. This is the UFC's model of progressing fighters to the top. And I think the UFC can see that they have a star in their hands potentially with Payton Talbott. Inside the octagon, he is crisp. His striking is beautiful to watch. His last KO got it done super quickly, and it was a really nice setup just off the jab. He had that jab going early and then mixed up the rhythm, added the 1-2 in, the jab, 1-2, caught his opponent clean, put him down, and that was all. Payton Talbott has power in those hands, really believes in himself as well. Obviously put a lot of guys down in his career, and yeah, I think objectively he is a pretty self-aware person, and I think with that self-awareness comes a pretty non-judgmental, non-biased look at yourself and your skills as a martial artist. And I think that is key for someone developing in their career. Obviously, you need confidence, self-belief, but there's a point where you need to be able to discern reality and discern what you need to work on, improve, change. And sometimes people can be so stuck in that identity, that mindset, that it really stunts their ability to change and to grow. Payton Talbott is, the opposite of that. He's, like I spoke about, a really interesting character outside of the UFC. Someone with, I think, a lot of self-awareness in life in general, in his path through life. And like I said, that really shines through with his creativity in the octagon. Do you guys remember him on Contender Series throwing a backflip, in a scramble? Like, he's flowing in there. The guy trusts his skills, trusts his ability, clearly will go into the fight with a game plan, but yeah, like these great strikers we've seen come through the UFC in the past, Israel Adesanya, Anderson Silva, all of these guys who enter that flow state and just look untouchable in there. I think Payton Talbott is tapping into that sort of energy, that awareness as well. And to sit on the sidelines and watch someone sort of enter that state and be comfortable in such a chaotic environment is beautiful to watch. He is the calm in the chaos inside that octagon, and I think that's what makes him so special. Obviously, he can market himself well. The kid is authentic, good on the microphone. But yeah, his ability to stay calm in the chaos and stay creative in that sort of environment, it just leads to these beautiful performances. And yeah, I think he's painting a really, really interesting story. Like I said, this is the perfect next step up in competition. I cannot wait to see how well he does. I think if he dusts off Tony Barcelos, cleans him up via knockout, the kid is destined for the stars. And yeah, I'm really, really grateful to just have the ability to see it all happen along the way. Let me know what you guys think about this stacked card. the first pay-per-view of the year, and it is an absolute treat. Thank you guys so much for joining me, for tuning in. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, I would really, really appreciate that. And we will chat soon.